The pandemic has left millions of Americans without stable access to food, and charities are stepping up to help increase the number of people who are in need. Now, over the past 9 months, New York City Harvest has distributed more than 87 million pounds of food for free. That's a 95% increase year over year. And joining us now is Jilly Stephens, CEO of City Harvest. Jilly, can you please tell us more about the spike in need that you have seen this year?
Yeah, Jill, thank you for having me on this morning. The spike in need is incredible. And what's most important to remember is that even before the pandemic, we know that about 2.5 million New Yorkers were already struggling to put food on the table. Those people who need help are still there needing help. And the increase in need is phenomenal. I mean, we're seeing people standing in line who have never been in line for food before. It's estimated by Robin Hood that has analyzed this, that 1 in 3 New Yorkers have turned to a food pantry this year. That's up 250% from last year. So the need is incredibly high. It's growing, and we don't expect it to dissipate anytime soon.
1 in 3 New Yorkers, that is absolutely incredible. What are the challenges with meeting that need in the midst of a pandemic, when I'm sure that people come to your facilities and you have to social distance? How does it even work?
Operationally, we've made several adjustments. We relied a great deal on volunteers to help us throughout the course of any regular year pack food into bags that can be distributed to families to take home. We changed very quickly. Probably by end of April, early May, we started hiring part-time temporary workers, a workforce of about 30 repackers. We went to recruit from the restaurant industry initially, as so many of that industry that supported City Harvest, and actually from which City Harvest was born over 35 years ago. So it was important for us to turn to that industry to hire these workers. And they've really made possible a lot of the work that we're doing, packing that vital food into bags that families can take home. Our mobile markets, which are open air distributions, look very different. They were definitely a very community-based gathering twice a month in 9 neighborhoods throughout the 5 boroughs. They look different as we enforce social distancing rules, but you know, we can do that, right? Because the most important thing is to make sure people get the food that they need. And as you said, we ramped up our food delivery significantly with 87 million pounds since March. In the current fiscal year, which began July 1st, we plan to rescue and deliver at least 118 million pounds of food, which is almost double what we had planned to do for this fiscal year. And all of this, of course, in response to the very high need.
With schools being open sporadically and not 5 days a week, and we know so many kids rely on schools for hot meals, what has that done? Has that increased the need that you've seen, at least among children?
Well, there's 2 things. The first, the city was very quick to make sure that food could still be handed out from the schools, even while they were closed. So children and their families knew they had somewhere to go to get food. Having said that, we do expect child food insecurity to spike. We're estimating 1 in 5 New York City children, or over 520,000 New York City children rather, are likely to experience food insecurity. That's a number that was already high and is projected to grow as we go through this pandemic. So it's an issue, and we want to get as much food, primarily fresh fruits and vegetables, into the hands of as many New Yorkers that need it, because it's important for those families to feed themselves and their children.
What do you think the best way that the government can help? What should they be doing? We know there's the SNAP program. What is the most effective way for the government to be helping people who just simply do not have enough food to eat?
You know, we saw some strong, critical pandemic relief bills very early on. that were powerful in that they boosted the SNAP benefits, they boosted unemployment assistance. It's imperative now that Congress acts to renew those vital supports. You know, the SNAP program alone, which is formerly known as food stamps, is such a powerful program. You know, for every meal that an organization within Feeding America, of which City Harvest is a member, for every meal that we distribute, that SNAP program can provide 9 meals. It's such a critical safety net, and it's imperative that those provisions are extended, strengthened, and renewed.
And for anyone who's watching and wants to help, what could they do?
Well, there are so many ways to help. I would say the City Harvest website, cityharvest.org, is an important place to start. Even for those who need help finding food, we have a very interactive map that shows you where you can go and get food near where you are. And then if you want to volunteer, we have information and resources on the website. And of course, we rely virtually 100% on private donations. So anybody who wants to make a donation can do so on the website as well.
All right. Big thanks, Jilly Stephens, CEO of City Harvest. Really great to have you on, and just incredible numbers. 1 in 3 New Yorkers suffering from food insecurity.